Charlie?
Charlie's here.
Charlie! The honorary mascot of Saturday nights.
Well, I mean, she's chaotic enough. Here's my little psychopath.
Yeah, they're all psychopaths. They're cats. You're listening to The Weekly Chaos, a gaming news podcasts. Why is it always a podcast?
I don't know. Because of cattle prod?
You're listening to The Weekly Chaos, a gaming news podcast brought to you by The Offbeet.
And Charlie.
And Charlie. And myself, Yaslanagrey, where each week we go over the changes, mishaps, and news from the gaming industry. We've got coverage from a number of different topics. I saw some Last of Us in there. I saw some games that got announced. I saw a few other things that amused me, but I didn't process what they were. Where would you like to start?
Anywhere is good. I'm not particularly picky this time.
Excellent. Well, then we may as well start at the Last of Us news because it's open on the screen. I just need the other article about Last of Us, wherever I put that. I know which article I want to finish on today, but I did not plan for where we're starting. Okay, I guess it's just this one.
I didn't know that they were actually even making a multiplayer game.
Neither did I. I would also like to just quietly give kudos to Naughty Dog for a company that created like Crash Bandicoot, disappeared for like 8 years, and then came back with Last of Us and has just been strong ever since.
Well, they also made Uncharted.
Yeah, that was the one they came back with. Sorry, yeah. Like they disappeared and then they came back really strong, and like kudos to them as a company more than anything else.
Yeah, for awakening a brand new fear in the human populace, in that no one knew of anything about the cordyceps fungus until they were like, "Hey, fungus zombies."
Yeah,
and now everybody knows about the cordyceps fungus.
And now everyone is terrified. But yeah, apparently they were developing a multiplayer Last of Us game. And have decided that was a terrible idea, and they're going to focus on single player. I bet you they couldn't get split screen right. You know, like Forza.
It's a strong possibility, but I mean, single player games have seemed to have always been their niche, if I'm being entirely honest.
Yeah,
even from the early days, it's just like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean, with the exception of like multiplayer racing games, most of their shit is single player, so like I feel like they'd be better off sticking with single player and not potentially like going badly.
Carly Cuddles was a very unfortunate start to this, because I feel like I got one of her hairs up my nose.
Oh no, that's not what you want. That's not what you want in the slightest. Why would you want
It's not. It really isn't.
Yeah.
It sucks.
No. But yeah, I mean, I didn't realize it was something they were making, and I guess I'm also kind of glad they're not, in a weird way, because I'm not sure it would have come out well.
I'm not really sure how it would have happened. I just feel like single player's kind of been their thing since the beginning. Just go with that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's slide down into other games that are weird. Apparently the GTA remaster trilogy looks good on phones, which
I thought was hilarious,
which actually kind of makes a little bit of sense when you think about the definition in which we used to watch or play video games. Like when you think about early console video games and the fact we played them on fucking CRTVs, and they were all like 480p. Putting them on a phone screen.
Have a brick of radiation in your home. CRTVs.
Yeah, like putting them on a phone and having them look better at that size makes a lot of sense, but it also goes to show us that they did not remaster it well.
You know those things, when you're trying to actually like recycle them and take them apart, they can fucking explode?
Yeah, I once put a tomahawk through the front screen of one, and that exploded around my hand.
Yeah, because they actually generate radiation and store an overcharge, and they have no bleed effect. So all the charge they accrue through their entire lifespan it's just always in the TV.
So depending on how old the TV is, how loud, how big the explosion is.
So yeah, so when taking it apart, there are people that literally tell you only ever put one hand in the machine, keep the other behind your back so you don't complete the circuit, because if you do, that will go straight into your heart.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Yeah. No, I once put a tomahawk.
Like apparently those things are terrifying to take apart.
I can
Like,
imagine.
literally terrifying.
Yeah.
And we just had them in our homes.
Yeah, of course we did. Quick question. You're recording, yeah?
Yes.
Cool. Just checking. You're a little fuzzy on my end. That's also, I figured I'd check. I mean, you're going to be fuzzy anyway. But...
Let's see if this helps.
Well, on my end, you went to pixels and black and white.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But that's better. Yes. Cool. Yeah, but it makes sense to why it would look better, but it also tells us they did not manage to upscale it well.
I feel like there are some things that when you're trying to upscale it, you have to consider how it was originally rendered. And as a result, unless if you're going to actually remake it, you can't just throw new graphic shaders over it and call it good.
Oh, for
it's
sure,
just not going to look right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where they went wrong. Like, it's the generational span was too large a gap in this circumstance. They needed to just remake it if they were going to remake it.
Oh, for sure. Also, apparently they fixed some of the bugs when also bringing it out for iPhone 15.
The rain I recall was impossible to see through in the definitive editions. Like, you literally couldn't see shit.
Yeah, and apparently sprinting in GTA 3 they fixed, and garage doors making weird sounds when opening and closing, which is the weirdest set of bugs. Like, realistically.
Which it's another amazing thing is that a lot of people complain that there was no longer any fog in the cities, which was a mechanic implemented in the original release to limit your draw distance, so the console didn't have to load as far into the distance in order to like run properly.
That makes sense.
And so when you remove the fog, it didn't actually add any details in the distance to accommodate or accompany that. So it just made the world feel a lot more empty.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, like, a lot of sense. Speaking
so that
of
was
GTA,
also a huge complaint.
We may as well slide down the GTA or up the GTA rabbit hole a little bit further. Apparently GTA Online has animals now, as well as a bunch of other things for their latest update.
Oh yeah, they're wrecking cars.
Which I'm kind of impressed that GTA 5 is, like, GTA Online is still getting updates, considering GTA 6 is really not that far away.
It's 2025. It's pretty far.
Yeah, but like in terms of gaming life, particularly for GTA, I mean, I feel like they do an update every like fucking year and a half or something. So yeah, they would have been fine, right?
I've seen a lot of videos of the animals in GTA Online wrecking cars though, because they apparently have more mass than any vehicle in the game.
That's
so a deer's just crossing the street and you're going at 200 miles at 200 Mach fuck and can't dodge it. Next thing you know, you're doing freaking cartwheels.
Now I kind of want to watch it. Now I kind of want to play it. I haven't played GTA 5 in forever.
Also, that one person above the yellow car is dressed like Ash Ketchum.
Oh god, they are
in the thumbnail of the video.
They 100% are too. That's great. Yeah, so I guess
you want to be a master of GTA.
When you
have the skills to be number one. When
you just really wanna
yeah, we'll just know that into the discussion of GTA Online, we'll have proper audio.
Excellent. Yeah, at that clap. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised GTA Online's still getting so much added to it. I assume the next GTA will also be getting an online function.
It's not Red Dead Online, so of course they're updating it.
Makes sense.
Because apparently they never want to update that, and that pisses people off.
No, of course not. Also, we were still on the topic. No. Why did that say Netflix's GTA series?
Because fuck it.
Oh, because that's what they're calling this. The definitive edition was listed as Netflix's version, apparently.
Interesting.
All right. Oh, there's the other the other Fallout news. I knew it was something different but similar. Fallout 4 news. What's going on here? I didn't read this one.
The next gen update, which I didn't know was happening, it's apparently been delayed. 2024.
That seems
which
fine.
I mean, considering that there was a Skyrim Anniversary Edition, makes sense logically to release it that way. I just didn't know it was happening, but now that I do know it's happening, I'm very upset.
You're like, I didn't know it was happening. Now that I do know what's happening, fuck you.
Yeah, because I love Fallout 4.
I've not played a Fallout game in my life. I've never played a Fallout game.
From 3 onward, they're developed by Bethesda, so they basically play like Elder Scrolls.
Oh, okay. But with guns and puppy.
With guns and dog, if you want dog. Otherwise, there are other companions to acquire.
What, like a fish?
No, like a super mutant and regular humans. And then Fallout New Vegas has a robot dog.
Okay. Just the fact that the option was dog, but there are other ones. I was like, what is my other option? Like a cat and a fish, or like, but yeah, okay.
With a wolf and a purr, maybe along and it becomes my stir. No, I don't know if the eyed frog is K9 K9 cat dog, cat dog, cat dog,
cat dog.
Alone in the world with a little cat dog.
Imagine that's the thing that's holding up the update so much. Is just they're trying to add a cat dog.
They want a cat dog. I would always have that companion if there was a cat dog.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right. Dragon's Dogma 2. Liz.
Yes,
hey.
yes.
I assume you'd be excited about this.
Absolutely, fuck yes. Fuck yes to everything Dragon's Dogma. It is the best RPG I've ever played.
Dragon's Dogma was the one you recommended playing before Elden Ring, right?
Yes.
Yes. I don't think I ever actually got around to finishing it. Or playing it, for that matter.
A monstrously open world RPG with several different classes you can do, full character customization. You can even make your pawn, which is your like follower, full character customization. You could be any height, size, voice, what the fuck ever. And yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's just so crazy in depth with its story, and I want to talk about it, but I also don't want to talk about it because the story itself is actually part of the adventure.
Yeah. Okay.
Essentially, you are the Arisen chosen to slay the dragon because it has stolen and eaten your heart.
How fucking dare it? That heart was mine.
And so your life is bound to the dragon, and you can only get your heart back by killing it.
That sounds exceptional. Okay. And now they're making a second one where you again do
finally the same thing? 10 years later.
10 years later. Look,
they announced
it. Bethesda like 11 years. Not Bethesda. It took Larian like 13 years to come out with another Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, they announced it on the 10-year anniversary of the first game in June. And now it actually officially has a release date of March 22nd next year.
And is already one of the top sellers on Steam.
Yes, it's in the top 10 just for pre-orders alone. And it has a map that is apparently 4 times the size of the original game.
That is wild.
But one of the other cool features about it, though, was that your pawn, your follower, would learn how to fight as you play. So if you encountered a Cyclops, and that Cyclops took electric damage, which is its weakness, and your pawn saw that, it would keep that in mind for future fights with Cyclopses and say they're weak to lightning. It would just shout that. But you could also hire other players' pawns in one of the only multiplayer aspects of the game that could already know this shit. So if you have a pawn that's already fought something you ever fought before, they'll tell you when you encounter it.
That's great. That's pretty solid. I would like to point out that the Steam bestsellers right now is Steam Deck, Lethal Company, PUBG, COD, I guess all of them.
All the COD.
Call to Arms, Gates of Hell, which I've never heard of. Dead by Daylight's somehow still up there. Fucking FC24, which I didn't know sports games ever hit the top charts. Last Train Home, which I've looked at and looked interesting enough. Dragon's Dogma 2, and then Apex Legends. I didn't realize Apex Legends was still that active.
Yeah, I am honestly astonished as well, considering that literally all sweats.
Yeah, and considering that Fortnite is progressively trying to take over literally every game mode you can possibly dream of. Stupid Fortnite. Anyway,
Dragon's
what was
Dogma.
next? What was next? Devil May Cry tease. What happened?
The composer for Devil May Cry was like, "Hey, would it be cool if I had more Devil May Cry music?" And people were like, "Holy shit, Devil May Cry 6!" And then it was a Devil May Cry mobile game.
Oh, that's not
coming out next month.
No, I don't have a need for Devil May Cry on my phone. I love Devil May Cry, but still, I don't need it on my mobile phone.
Yeah, did you play 5?
I did not.
5 was so fucking good.
I've seen a lot of it, but I did not play. Oh, actually, I may have. Just trying to remember. I know I played 3. And I'm pretty sure I went back and played 2.
I have played all of them, even the shitty reboot.
So
it's a mistake. Don't do it.
You're going to play the mobile game then?
No.
You say that. You say that.
No.
I don't trust you.
I have no intentions of being disappointed.
Fair.
I also don't really play a lot of mobile games.
That's fair. Speaking of things we don't really do, farewell E3. You're done. You had your time in the sun. It was wonderful.
How about that shit?
Coming back.
How about that shit? It's actually fucking dead.
Like fully dead. I'm surprised as shit, to be honest.
But I mean, it says here that they'd already canceled it for the next 2 years going forward. So what else can you do? There's no way they're making money anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, if no one's turning up, and with the progressive death of esports, then I'm not that surprised anymore, to be honest.
And
I'm
then also the
large gaming conventions still happen, to be honest.
I mean, that's probably why the Game Awards were so announcement heavy and less about the actual awards themselves, which made people kind of mad this year.
Likely because we no longer have E3, so your options now are like Gamescom and Gamer Awards, and there's probably one other at the start of the year somewhere.
PAX.
PAX, yeah. Which PAX for you guys and PAX for us are at very different times of the year.
Yeah, but still, like, it's an option. A lot of people like PAX East and PAX West. People like announce shit all the time.
Yeah, that's pretty much your option.
But that's more of like an indie scene, as far as I know.
Yeah, from what I've understood,
like indie developers.
Yeah.
A lot of good games come from it, though.
You were something.
Rip in peace.
You were almost as old as I was.
The unfortunate thing about that is that I had always wanted to go to E3 when I was a kid, and now I literally never can.
Yeah, me too.
But I mean, apparently where we are, it might not be all that bad. Considering that, it just kind of died out due to the times.
Yeah, which seems to be the case for quite a few things lately. All right. Skyrim Together modders aren't making a multiplayer mode for Starfield, which answers our question from the other day as to whether Starfield's a multiplayer game.
Yeah, from what I understand, they started it. They were going to make a multiplayer mode. They even have the code left for anyone else that wants to pick it up and keep going. They just gave up and they don't care.
That's fair. I mean, everyone kind of got over Starfield real quick.
Which I'm assuming is why they got over Starfield. Like, if there's not really a demand for this mod, then why the hell are we still doing it?
Yeah, like, I get it. The game is boring, bland, and the main draw of Bethesda games, exploration in a lively and handcrafted world, was completely gone. I'm not going to put my heart and soul into a mod for a game that is mediocre as is, which is 100% fair. If you're going to create a mod for a game, at least it better be a good game in the first place. Yeah,
I mean, fucking Skyrim is literally the same thing every time you play it. You could say it's not, but every place you go to is preset, like, when you get there.
Yeah, but
people still have more hours in that to this day than they do in Starfield.
Yeah, which is wild. Skyrim is the game that will never die, despite the fact that it really should have by now. I'm not even sure Elder Scrolls 6 will wipe it off the table. If anything, it's just going to make us want to replay Elder Scrolls 5 more.
I think the only thing that might have a chance of dethroning Skyrim might be the Oblivion remake.
Maybe, but even then it might only be temporary.
Only because that that just has the nostalgia factor
Yeah.
of the things that existed in Oblivion that you could only do in Oblivion that they, somewhat reference in Skyrim, like the Oblivion gates and stuff, where it's like, yeah, I wish I could go on an Oblivion gate again.
Or like my favorite thing ever, which is that you can jump to up your acrobatic skill.
Or you can put down a paintbrush because it'll just float and make a staircase.
Yeah. All the fun stuff.
I'm sure that probably won't work in the future in the remake, but still, it was funny as hell.
Oh, probably. Okay. Why does the day before Studio Fantastic announces closure just days after early access launch? So what you're telling me is yet another game has hit early access and failed miserably.
Well, it didn't just fail; it literally bombed at the hardest of all time. In the fact that in its early announcement trailers, it looked like it was going to be Tom Clancy's The Division meets post-apocalyptic zombies. People thought that was fucking cool. Then, as time goes on with more trailers, people start noticing what looked to be reused assets, and there's a lot of legal trouble involved in all that, and people are like, what the fuck kind of game are you making? It finally launches in early access, and it's an extraction shooter. Everybody's pissed. $39.
How the fuck did we end up at extraction shooter for that?
$39 to get in on this early access, and it's not anything that anyone thought it was going to be or wanted.
Yeah.
So now,
let's not talk about the amount of money I've spent on early access extraction shooters.
between the legal troubles, the refunds, and just the overall horrendous reviews, the game has failed so badly that the studio has announced that they are shutting down 4 days after launch.
And it dropped almost 90% in 4 days for its player count. That's wild.
And it's in Steam's 10 worst reviewed games of all time. 4 days.
That's wild.
It's actually no longer available to buy on Steam. Like it's already off the shop. It's gone.
That seems like a valid fucking option, to be honest.
Apparently, the servers will remain operational for any people that actually already purchased and would like to play it. However, no new players going forward.
10% that are left.
Yeah, all 5 of you guys have fun.
All 6 of you fuckers. Here's your server. You can all play each other only when everyone is awake.
Good luck with that. Hey, look on the bright side. Depending how many people have to extract to win, you might always win.
This is true. Although extraction shooters aren't necessarily about winning so much as getting out with the shit you went in for.
This right here, I'm actually kind of excited for because I loved Dead Cells. They are very good. Like the developers themselves seem to be very good with the whole roguelike formula. So a co-op roguelike could be fun as hell.
Yeah, right. I avoided watching the trailer because live reaction. So let's watch it, I guess.
Yeah, let's do it. Do it. Don't you wish you had this kind of energy at 5 in the morning?
I wish I had that kind of energy literally any time of the day. I like chicken nuggets. Excellent. I'm glad you like chicken nuggets. What is this trailer though? Was that an axolotl?
Might have been.
Just a drawing of an axolotl. None of the rest of them have been axolotls so far.
Now the middle one is, I think.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I think one of the characters is an axolotl.
We can get another axolotl themed character for another thing. Yeah, I reckon it might be axolotl-esque at least. Dun, da, da, da.
Get fucking ruined, bud.
Yeah. It's entertainingly violent. And I'm curious what it looks like from the top down. Like what the gameplay itself's actually going to look like.
I would assume the earlier segment is what the gameplay looks like, where they were like, where it showed them individually like dashing around with like circle around their feet and stuff.
With the Sonic style movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks interesting. For sure.
2024 early access.
Yeah, it's decent.
I love roguelikes, so I am down.
Yeah, that's definitely your kind of thing. All right, now we get
And Dead Cells itself is actually just a great fucking game. So
there. And now we get to get into the stupid topics, the stupidest of stupid topics.
Yay!
Why are people huffing their vent fumes for Steam Decks?
That's a wonderful question.
Last week we cooked one. Why are we now breathing in the vent fumes? Why?
I wasn't aware that they produced vent fumes or that people were interested in smelling them, but I mean, I guess some people just like the smell of burning electronics.
What exactly? Like, is it just because it's that weird smell of like burning dust? Like, why would you intentionally inhale the fucking exhaust fumes?
I mean, I imagine it would smell like sniffing a vacuum after you're done.
Yeah, like that kind of smell. I don't get it. I don't get it in the slightest.
I just love that they apparently directly asked, like, hey, this normal? And someone just like, yeah, dude, everybody does it, dude. You're fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like this is just, you know, huffing in a new world.
Yeah, it's huffing without the added like buzz, I guess. And the final thing I'm going to get into, because obviously this is what we are playing today, so I wanted to talk about the ridiculous arachnophobia mode that Lethal Company has, that is literally just the word spider in 3D text bouncing around chasing you.
It's fucking great.
It amuses the shit out of me as a concept, and I'm trying to decide right now if I want to have it on while we're playing it or not, because it is absolutely wild.
It's a ridiculous concept for sure.
Yeah, like why is that what you chose to do for arachnophobia mode? I mean, honestly, I think it's probably the best thing you could have done at that point,
considering that like other games like Grounded just turns them into non-distinct blobs, and I think Hogwarts Legacy just removes the spiders entirely from the game as an enemy type. This is probably the most entertaining method.
I mean, having not played Hogwarts Legacy, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it just made them a little like dot on the screen or something. It may have removed them entirely, I'm not sure, but I don't know. Is there a mode to introduce a giant chicken? Shh. Maybe. But yeah, so we're gonna go play that, and I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna have arachnophobia mode on or not. So thank you for watching, thank you for listening, thank you for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I
mean, you're gonna be the one with the live stream, so you're the only one whose choice on that matter actually appeals to anyone.
Yeah. But come check us out on Twitch if you're bored and want something to look at. Bye now. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.